So, okay, so I love this. This story started out with that kind of chaos. You've now streamlined and modernized your internal operations, gotten visibility, improved communications internally. So the next natural step would be to take that modernization outside, because all of that only operates as well. NetSuite only operates as well as the data that lives inside of it, right? And a good chunk of that data lives with your suppliers outside the organization. So it made sense for you guys to shift your focus to modernizing supplier collaboration. So Chris, could you talk about that a little bit more and share what your executive mandate was for or vision for SourceDay?
Yeah, I'll kind of take a step back and look at it from what we were doing before, without NetSuite, and then what we were doing kind of we'll say 6 months ago with our suppliers. I think those two storylines are extremely similar. We were working in a very primitive environment. Before NetSuite, we were carrying around job jackets and walking them throughout the building. If somebody sets one down and it slips behind a desk, who knows what's going to happen with that job? Where NetSuite obviously cleaned that up very quickly. And I think that's kind of the same story that we have with our suppliers. Before, it was a lot of manual communication, a lot of back and forth through emails, where if you send out 100 emails and one of them doesn't get responded to, it's really hard to target, oh yeah, shoot, that's the one I have to go back to. And SourceDay kind of takes that communication, centralizes it into one place, and makes it extremely easy to use. You're kind of going from a primitive process to a more modern system. And I think that's kind of what the executives wanted at DuraMark. It was, hey, our communication is kind of, I'll call it heroic right now, but it's like unneeded heroic effort to get one little thing done, and that's communicating back and forth with a supplier.
Well, and the risk that exists, that scenario you talked about where you're carrying job jackets around, one falls behind the supply cabinet, and then it's sort of wait and see what the impact is going to be, right? Yeah. And sometimes that impact's really big. Like it can mean shutting down a production line. It can mean, as you said at the top, your expectations with your customers are really high.
Yes.
Right. You pride yourself on being the fastest and meeting those expectations. One miss inside your operations can affect that. Similarly, with your suppliers, one email that doesn't get acknowledged has a similar potential impact of disrupting production and causing you to miss with a customer.
Right, and it goes back to really supplier expectations. Before, if we miss something, our speed and our agility lets us make up for that. Our suppliers, like I said before, aren't as fast as us. So making up lost time really hurts in the supply chain world.